focus on Open LDAP or Open LDAP, but I wanted to first give an overview of directory services. There are some common directory services. First one, network-focused directories. These manage user accounts, security, and resources. Microsoft's Active Directory does this quite nicely and integrates it all nice and pretty. Then there's generic purpose directories. These, pardon me if I'm talking too fast, I'm going to try to get through this as much as possible, so I'm going to spit out a lot of data. These support the diverse requirements of an enterprise business or any other needed need. Then there's the meta directories, which basically LDAP will do to have a directory set up of all of the other directories to do a nice replication type thing. And then you have application directories. These store information about users for specific purposes, such as email and instant messaging and stuff like that. Then you have your specific use directories for like DNS and public key infrastructures. And VeriSign uses that, and Bigfoot and 411. LDAP was originally created to access X500, which was a directory DAP, which was Directory Access Protocol, but that was so heavyweight and operated over all the layers of the TCP/IP stack, or the OSI model, if you want to call it that. Yeah, it was really resource intensive. So for like little clients to be running it, they wanted something lightweight. Hence, they came up with the lightweight directory access protocol. So although it's not extraordinarily tiny, it's smaller than the X500. Now, originally, the LDAP needed the X500 to be running in the background, but then they came up with standalone LDAP. The University of Michigan started, though, with that, with SLAPD and SLRPD, which was the standalone lightweight directory access protocol daemon, and then SLRPD, which was the standalone lightweight directory access protocol update replication daemon. SLRPD was able to spread out your system to different things, and there were 3 ways of doing that. I'll just draw what they look like. First, we had. Can you erase with this? No. It's just telling me that I logged in.
That must be annoying.
Send you a mail message every time you log in. You logged in.
So the easiest, of course, is where you have your client and your server. And then you get your request and then your response. It's really easy and silly. Second is the local services with referrals, where your client asks the server where for a certain resource or name of a resource. The server doesn't know it, so it tells you where to go, and then you go and find the other place. You can get kind of like a big tree of like the next highest. DNS does this by going to different domains and such. And then the third is one that Active Directory also sort of does, but LDAP does cool too, where you've got your master and your slave, and then you send to him. He doesn't know it, or he wants to make sure it's you want to have more copies of the exact same thing so it replicates it. And then you get your replication and SLRPD going, and they send it to the slave. So when he tells you it's not there, you then go to him. And it works like that. All right, when you install Open LDAP, the first thing you want is transport layer security. This is what actually makes it version 3 compliant, because version 2 and version 1 were very vulnerable because there was no authentication. So version 3 actually brought in authentication, and so you have to have OpenSSL installed when you actually run it. And then your authentication can either be Heimdall or MIT Kerberos, and you get your simple authentication and security layer libraries installed at that point. And then you pick your database as it's installed. This is where all your, okay, you can see this. This is where all your configurations file stuff is. You go into slapd.conf, and that will show you all of your configuration stuff. If you're at all familiar with this, there's schemas, which are the rules of what the rules to what you will apply, and you can have multiple schemas in there and extend those schemas, and to have multiple ones you insert them with the include and then where the schema is. Kind of makes it nice and more scalable in a sense. This is where you tell it where you want your database. LDBM, that's the Berkeley database by SleepyCat. That's the default. It's very lightweight. You can also use your shell, a regular shell, and just do everything in a text editor, but that's a little slower. Or you can use your password file, which if you know Unix, you know that. You also, here is where you type in your the name of the domain administrator, and the this is how you bypass that chicken and the egg thing, where you can't actually edit anything without a administrator name or root domain name. So you actually type that in here, and then you can actually edit it with that. Of course, it's kind of silly because the original password is in clear text, which is a bad idea. Very bad. But you can change that if you know how to do that. Then after you get that all set up, you create an LDAP file. I should have had one already done. We're going to go into KDE quick. Did the projector just freak out?
It went blue for a couple of seconds there. So.
Crap. Yeah, it's not going to like that.
What resolution are you displaying?
800, 600.
Control Alt plus or minus once, see what happens. Go back to the
Control Alt plus or
Go
minus.
back to the console, the X server.
Well, it just shut down.
Oh. Try again. Try hitting Control minus. Right.
So it's switching modes on your machine?
You don't see anything changing?
Well, KDE's
Hit
up.
numlock, hit numlock.
Numlock.
Do you have a numlock in there? I think it wants the special plus or minus keys on the right for most keyboard.
No idea.
What was Zen Master? Huh? Or mixture. Mixture of both. Zen. That was the first monkey in space. Zan. Spell that?
It's just
You want to use these numbers here.
to use those, you use your FN key. You hold that down.
Okay, so Control FN.
They need multiple,
Sorry.
reses and six of these. Yeah, if she's only got it for
So I
like
hope
16 bits, 800 plus 600.
It's not gonna be happy with that.
Those things doesn't know they
Oh, right,
exist.
yeah, to switch to here.
I'm going to show you a sample LDAP file, which is what it uses for replication and standardization thing. There's RFCs for the LDAP file. You can read those. I don't have time to get into them right now. And it's not going to let me